Hey everybody, it's Patjack JW, and I wanted to talk to you about things that I've been doing, filmmaking and props and all that. I've been fascinated with filmmaking forever. It's always been with me, all the way from growing up. I always wanted a video camera. That was something that I absolutely wanted. I kept begging my parents for one, and I remember finally getting one. And this is all the way back in VHS days. So for some of us, that wasn't very long ago. For me, it felt like yesterday. But VHS days, now everything's digital. It's crazy. But all the way back then, VHS stuff. And I remember always wanting to take like my action figures and stuff and do things like, you know, my G.I. Joe figurines and do stuff with them and, you know, go film it out in the mud or something. But I've always been fascinated with filmmaking. And then in high school, I wound up taking a photography class and doing stuff with that. And that just really became something I was really fascinated with. It was just the fact of, the cool thing to me was filming something and then it's forever captured right there in the image. In video or a photograph or something. I've always been fascinated with that. To me, that was just always neat. So coming out here to Arizona and meeting up with a bunch of fellas that are just as passionate as I am in it, which is really unique because a lot of times, you know, yeah, it sounds like a cool idea, but nobody really follows through with it. Well, these guys, they do. And so I'm really fortunate to have met up with them. And one of the things I've been really enjoying with doing this is props. Always looking for props. Been always, you know, scoping things out, always looking for things and finding out, oh, hey, maybe we can use that in a film. So some of the things, I brought out some stuff like this is a really neat vest that was given to me by Rick Harker. If you guys seen that video, Harker's Museum and whatnot, really neat old West town he built himself. Super cool. I feel so blessed and privileged to have been able to go over there and check it out and film and everything. But this is a vest that he gave to me. When I got out here, I didn't have any of this kind of stuff, but this is a really cool piece of wardrobe. And what's neat about this one is it actually still has stage blood on the inside of it. Some of that fake blood stuff that they use. So that's really cool to have something like that that's spattered with it. There's some spots on the back too. Neat thing about a lot of the Western stuff is it's cool because it needs to look rustic. It needs to look kind of aged a little bit. So that's always fun to do. Speaking of things that are aged, here's a part of the crew. This is a wanted poster that we made of old Dan right there. Actually, if you recall, this is that showed up in the Arizona Ghost Riders episode of Making Wanted Posters. This was the actual one that you see old Santee stretch it out like that, and you see me come up from the side of the screen and put my knife right through it right there, and that's the actual tear and everything. So it's kind of neat. I think it's really cool to have these things. So that's just something I enjoy. And in fact, speaking of all that, this was the knife that we used for that. Again, these are the switchblade type auto knives that I really like growing up with film. Again, just touching back on that real quick, I've always been fascinated with these. They've always captured the tension in the film and everything. So, yeah, that is just super cool. Of course, this one here has been dulled so that it can't hurt anybody during filmmaking. That's mostly what we buy these for, is props. So this one has the edge removed, so it's safer for us to use. These other ones do not have the edge removed. Now, something like this, I'll show you this. This is that Rizzuto. This is an original Rizzuto switchblade with the swing guard. Now this one we won't take the edge off or do anything like that because of its collectability. This is a collectible, so we're very careful with this when it shows up. Some of these other ones, mostly when you're doing this kind of stuff, the way it looks on camera is always important, and of course cost effective. So these ones here are pretty inexpensive. So, but something like this is still neat. Santee actually touched on it when sometimes they wear authentic stuff along with their wardrobe or something, and it's cool because you're actually still incorporating something like that into what you're doing. Such as this is an actual original, probably the 50s or 60s stiletto switchblade. This swing guard, it's got the white type ivory handles. It's got brass controls. It's got that safety kind of lanyard on the bottom. So this is really neat. And to me, these props are really important. I think they're very important because, in a sense, you think about it. Dirty Harry, for instance, take the Dirty Harry movie. All right, Clint Eastwood portraying the character of Harry Callahan. Harry Callahan would not be Harry Callahan without what? His Model 29 Smith & Wesson 44 Magnum with a 6.5-inch barrel. That is important. That is essential to the character. So I really like finding stuff that could possibly fit a character or make that character that much more. It becomes a part of his character. Just the same as the 29 became a part of Clint Eastwood's character in Dirty Harry. Now, if you recall also where we did a skit with the mustache. Yes, this is the mustache that Santee made. It's just a foam mustache. He even drew some lines on it to make it look a little bit more real. On camera, it looks pretty cool. You know, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's just a rubber band on the back and everything. But this is what we used. This is neat. This is when we did that skit where we wanted to cut Jerry Woods' mustache off and glue it onto mine. And he says, well, Jerry says, we can't just cut my mustache off. We also had the character Dirty Dan. Dan plays that good character he always plays. And he says, well, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. Now, here's another knife. This one is a big old one. You can see that. Now, this was, I felt fitting and kind of essential for Dan. Now, this is a good example because Dan's a sizable dude. So something that's small would not have looked intimidating in Dan's hands. But something of this size was able to have Dan use it and it will stand out more. So things like that, I really enjoy doing things like bringing the props to the skits and everything that we can, always looking for something to include in something. What can we make it? How can we make it better? Like, this is really neat that, this has got coffee stains on it. The edge is completely burned. So aging things and making things look rustic, even down to the Freddy Krueger gloves that I made. You guys remember those? Checking all that out. So, but that's kind of been my thing, and I really like filmmaking. Again, it's just something I've grown up with it. Always had a fascination with it. Once I had a video camera and I got one, I never went without one. Always had one. And so the YouTube stuff has enabled me to be able to share my art and my vision of film stuff and doing things and bring it to you. The Batjack JW main channel is a prime example of some videos and ideas and things that I wanted to do and incorporate. One of the things early on, if you remember, those of you who've been there, a lot of the tutorial and reviews on certain firearms, if you look at those are like 15-minute videos, 17-minute videos, because I wanted to make videos that were close up of this stuff and talk about them for a long duration of a video. And I remember getting a question once from some people like, why'd you make so many videos of this particular firearm? Well, because when I was actually looking to buy it, there was no videos. I couldn't find any videos. So I'm like, all right, well, I want to produce some stuff on it and do some things like that. So it's really neat. And then also, what's even more inspiring to me is the fact that my channels inspired others to make channels too and start making their own videos, which is neat. So, and also, not even just on the firearm side. I think YouTube has allowed people of all sorts of talent and entertaining people. Maybe they don't even know that they're entertaining or funny. They just happen to do their thing on YouTube. There's a lot of other channels that I watch that are not necessarily gun related. They're just funny, and their whole bit, everything that they do is so entertaining, and so many of it has become a part of a lot of our lives, really. And YouTube is one of the most amazing tools I think ever. I'm not much of a technology guy. I a lot of my friends, when I told them, hey, I'm on YouTube now, they were like, what? that's like a huge leap for me. It's like, man, JW, like, we don't, that's crazy that you're on YouTube. And I said, yeah, I figured it out myself. And they were just like, wow, that's unbelievable. So, but there are channels, there are other people that got to shine through YouTube and become very successful. It's very amazing the success rate that some of these guys have had, and it just shows you that right there, like, you know, you always hear that thing, well, you gotta go Hollywood to make it, you know, or be entertaining people. Well, YouTube allows people to draw out their creativity right there at their own home and post it up there and entertain people and make people laugh. And there's a lot of channels, a lot of people that I'm so grateful for, because they really have become a part of my life, and I've laughed so hard watching some of their content. It really has just given back to the people, and that's amazing, and I like that. And you know, for my channel, it was things that I wanted to do, like how to disassemble something, how to take apart something, you know, how to what are you looking for when you're buying a used revolver, things like that. So there's, I sometimes have to pinch myself and look back at my videos and go, man, did I really produce that many videos, that much content on that channel? You know, some people, I get a lot of questions. People say, hey, you're going to do a video on this? And I actually already have. And it's, so I realize the catalog of videos on there are just, it's so much. So, but anyhow, I just wanted to kind of touch on that, you know, a little bit of filmmaking. I enjoy the prop aspect of it because I am a firm believer in these props and everything are essential to the characters we are trying to do. And of course, I hope you all you know, get ready for it. We're still in the process of development and making it, but for once, I'm doing a real good film here. Hopefully, I think it's good. I think it's cool. We're putting a lot of effort into it. The three of us have been nonstop at it, really, to make this film happen. And it's going to be, I'm going to run the trailers here, and of course on my Batjack JW channel. Run the trailers so you can check it out. And of course the video will be on Patreon. And so that's going to be a next big leap. And it really is, doing the Patreon, really all it is to allow more, hopefully more support from you guys, the finances, to keep this Batjack thing going and keep it more interesting, and the ability to spend more of a budget on this stuff and improve it. Yeah, improving our editing skills, our filming, and things we're able to use and utilize for it. You know, a lot of this funding comes right out of our own pocket. I really need to thank, first of all of you subscribers, everybody that's subscribed to the main channel and this channel, and you're watching it right now. Really, because without you, none of this is worth doing. It's having the audience is the biggest key thing of all this, is having the audience and having you guys here. It's really important to me. And of course, the fellas, man, Santee and Dan, without you guys, the enthusiasm, the drive that you both have to do this and take things that a lot of us, you know, like, especially somebody like me that only dreamed of doing some of these things that I've gotten to do and experience out here in the middle of a desert. So you guys really mean a lot to me, and of course all you subscribers, like I said, without you, none of this, it's like, why am I sitting here doing this? So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you from Batjack JW for watching and for being a subscriber, and I hope to see you all on the supporting on Patreon. If you don't, that's okay. We're still going to try to do it and get going, and hopefully the video is interesting enough to wish to want to see it. We're putting a lot of effort into it, and I hope you enjoy it and be entertained. That's the main thing. So thanks for watching, you guys.